Ambassador, welcome and thank you very much for joining us. I actually want to get the first question right out to you as quickly as possible because we've lost a little bit of time. Today, we want to talk about the memorandum of understanding that was signed by Ethiopia and Somaliland. What's your general sense? How do you actually view this? Is this a good deal? Is it a bad deal? Tell us what you think about it.
I mentioned this possibility a couple of months ago on my Twitter account because at that time, everyone, when Ethiopia was voicing the necessity for a port, and everyone was saying, oh my gosh, this is going to be a new conflict in the Horn between Ethiopia and Eritrea. And I said, that makes no sense whatsoever. There doesn't need to be a conflict because there is an ideal solution, which is the de facto country of Somaliland, which has phenomenal port facilities, and it would be a natural partnership for Ethiopia to make a deal with Somaliland. So I think it is an ideal opportunity for both countries. It's perfect for a long-term relationship, and it's perfect for developing infrastructure from the port in Somaliland into Ethiopia. When I was in Somaliland a little over a year ago, I had a chance to visit the port facilities in Berbera, and I saw the new road that's being constructed. And Ethiopia desperately needs a long-term relationship. It cannot put all of its eggs in the basket of Djibouti. So from my point of view, this is perfect for the two countries, and it's also perfect for the long-term stability and prosperity of the Horn of Africa.
Thank you, Ambassador. That's actually a pretty good, concise, and the fact that you've actually seen the infrastructures that are actually coming up in Somaliland in preparation for not just for Ethiopia, but the world in general, right? It's getting there. I want to fire the next question at you as quickly as possible, so again we can get this going. This deal, almost one can say it came out of nowhere. Nobody really expected it. And as you know, deals between countries take a very long time in terms of preparation and discussions that have to actually happen for things to take shape. But in all honesty, the memorandum of understanding was pretty sudden and actually has surprised everyone. What do you think prompted the two leaders of Somaliland and Ethiopia to do so? And do you see any circumstances that led to this level of urgency in actually getting an understanding and kind of surprising everyone?
Prime Minister Abiy of Ethiopia has had a track record of surprising people. When all of a sudden he made peace with Eritrea shortly after coming to power. When you say deal, this is just step one, because a memorandum of understanding is fairly easy to sign, because what that is, it's simply an intention. So now gets the really, really hard part that's going to take a while to hammer out all the details, and as we say, crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. It's fairly evident of how Prime Minister Abiy has been. And, no doubt there had been some discussions in the background. This wasn't just all of a sudden done. One morning, Prime Minister Abiy calls up President Bihi and says, hey, let's make a deal on this. So, like I said, an MOU is only step one, and there's more steps to go.
An MOU is just the beginning phase of a long-term discussion. Now, Somaliland hasn't, kind of forged this type of relationship before. Ethiopia may have, but again, both of them may not be to the level of, like, say, the United States that actually has, whether it's, an agreement to place forces in a foreign country. Are there agreements such as the status of forces agreement that could be a template for both countries to try to, figure out and get this kind of thing going?
There are status of forces agreements all around the world between, a number of countries, whether you go from the United States to China, to Russia, to the French, the British, Kenya, others. There's lots of models to use, but the key is to figure out what the interest of the two countries, and, kind of circle around that. It's agreements between countries are nothing more than Venn diagrams, and it's where the intersection is between the interests of the various, participants, and then you draw around there, and you put it into a document that everybody agrees to. There are a lot of possibilities here because, there's the issue of Somaliland security. There's the issue of an Ethiopian Navy. How would the Somaliland Navy benefit? What would be entailed in training? How would Somalia benefit from this. So all of this has to be done by your leadership, and then it has to be considered.